I wanted you guys to see some of the photos from the past events, and we'll walk through each different competition. But if you notice, like in this photograph, this would be our monologue. So he's actually on the stage, and he's got, you know, a headset here with a microphone. He has free reign of the stage, so he can move around. He's not stuck in a box. When you do the TV commercials, you do need to stay in one spot, stand on a mark. So for anybody who's more new to acting, or if you're really more interested in modeling and you kind of want to step into acting as well, TV commercial would probably be your best bet. With monologues, you have the option to do a longer scene, and you also have the option to really get into character. Like he did a kind of a Grinch Christmas monologue, and so he wore his tacky Christmas sweater. So you can really, you know, get into character more as far as your costumes and things. So I'm going to go over to the category guidelines and just kind of walk through each different competition so that you guys have the details on each different category.
And they have this in their portal.
Yeah, so
correct?
this is actually in your contestant account. So if you log in through our website or through the link that you received, you should have received an email from Evaluations at Discovery Spotlight when you first registered online for your spot on the roster. You'll be able to log in and see some training guides, and this is one of those training guides. So you guys do have a copy of this. And if you have any reason logging in, just let me know and I can send you your updated username and password. So of course, we want you guys to continue practicing at home, and we are going to do these monthly online training sessions, and we will have some that are more interactive. We just want to make sure everybody's on the same page right now.
Well, you guys are in good hands, so I'm going to head out, but nice chat with everyone. We can't wait to see you soon.
All right. So as far as wardrobe, that's one of the bigger questions that I get as far as what should I wear for the different competitions. And just make sure that you keep your age and your natural looks in mind. This is not a runway show. You know, it's not a fashion show. The ultimate goal is that you look your best for who you are, your age, your shape, your personality, your body type. So that's, you know, that's really the most important thing. You don't need to go buy a lot of clothes for this weekend. Simple clothing is typically best, and that's what I would suggest. Female models 13 and older should wear heels for the runway categories. So that would be for fashion runway, swimwear runway, or for the jeans runway. So women 13 and older, we do suggest heels. They don't have to be a high heel. Any type of a heel is fine, but heels just make you look a little bit taller. They show off your muscle tone a little bit more, so we do suggest that you wear them. And then men, of course, for the fashion runway, you want to have a shoe that's a little bit dressier typically, depending on what you're wearing, but certainly I wouldn't wear any kind of flip-flops. If you wanted to wear sandals or go barefoot for the swimsuit categories, that is fine. And if you are going to be wearing heels, make sure that you practice in those shoes and break in those shoes before the weekend so that you don't have blisters and so that you can walk comfortably, or so that if it's not the right pair of shoes, you find a different pair. And I always say that the scouts are going to be looking at you. They are not there to shop for shoes. But if you are, you know, wobbling in your shoes, or you don't look confident or comfortable, or you have an issue turning, then that is going to be a distraction. So just start paying attention to the shoes that you would want to wear for the actual event. Okay, makeup. So this is not a pageant. This is not, you know, a glitz and glamour type event. However, we do suggest that women do wear makeup for the different showcases and for their interviews. When you're on stage, or when you're in front of the camera for the TV commercial showcases, that's different than when you're up close and in person for your interviews on Sunday. So Sunday, I would go a little bit more natural with makeup, ladies. Men, the only makeup that I would typically suggest would be if you had some blemishes that you needed to cover up, or you wanted to wear some translucent powder. And I mentioned here Maybelline sells a matte face powder in translucent, which is colorless, but it will absorb shine, because when you get nervous and your heart starts racing and you're going out to perform, sometimes you start to sweat, you're also under those bright lights. So I suggest that everybody does a little bit more powder. For the children absolutely do not need to wear makeup. For dancers or for theatrical performers who might be doing a monologue on the stage, if you would like to have some makeup on that would complement your costume, that's absolutely fine. But for children, for those interviews that are up close and more personal, I absolutely would not have any makeup on, because the agents and managers and scouts don't typically look very highly on that. So I certainly would just go more natural for the kids. Okay, and then women, of course, pay attention to your undergarments. At the event, you are up on a stage other than for the TV commercials. So we always just suggest that your undergarments match your attire, and that it's something more modest, so that it looks professional when you're on stage. So as far as expression, smile or serious, performers 12 and under should smile during the runway showcases. So the 12 and under age group, for the performers 13 years and older, should have a serious high fashion attitude on the fashion runway only. So again, we do have different runway categories. And for all of these, you walk out in a T-shaped format. So you're backstage, you walk center stage, you walk forward to the end of the stage, you profile, you turn around and walk back. And we will be sending you some runway training videos so that you guys have some examples of what to be working on at home, and that's for children, men, and women. So that's one of the training videos that we're going to be emailing you guys. But for the fashion runway, that's black and white clothing. That is all black, all white, or a combination of black and white. So that could be something like, she has on black top, white skirt. I'll show you a few other examples from the photos of previous contestants. Like you can see that she has on this black and white dress. And she has on, she's actually doing her monologue or TV commercial, I think. But he has on black and white. He has on black. So this can be dressy, this can be dressy casual. And we're going to talk about, let's see, there was another really crazy outfit that's pretty cool on stage. He went with the, the fun black and white pattern jacket, which turned out really great on the stage. So yeah, just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what that looks like. Obviously, this little girl is in the, she's in the swimsuit category, and so she wore a fun, colorful swimsuit. She's in the swimsuit category, and you can see parents of younger ones. We suggest that you wear all black if you're going to be backstage or possibly on stage. All right, very good. Okay, so I'm going to go back to these guidelines. And sorry, I don't know why I have this red line here. I have not seen that before, but we'll try to look beyond it. And so for men, for fashion runway, you can wear a jacket, you can do vest, you can do suspenders, you can do button down. This will be September is the next event, so you'll have some flexibility on, the weather. Everything's indoors, so you should be nice and comfortable inside in the air conditioning. Thank goodness, because Charleston will probably still be hot in September. And but if you notice, you can wear patterns, you can wear prints, plaids, anything black and white. Or you could go all white, all black. Jeans runway. This is a blue denim runway. This is a really great one, I feel, for anyone who's more in that commercial print. Girl next door, guy next door. This is great for all different types of models. So this is a great runway, and you can do a lot with this. Your blue denim can be pants, shorts, skirts, bodysuit, vest, etc. You just have to have one piece of clothing that is blue denim. swimsuit runway. And then for this, that being said, the one piece of clothing has to be blue denim. It can be all blue denim, but you could do something like a pair of blue jean pants and then a colorful top. You can, mix your colors with that as well, as long as you have some blue denim. Swimsuit runway. So obviously swimsuit runway is geared more for people who would be interested in swimwear shoots, beach resort shoots, fitness modeling. If you have that type of a body type, and then, if you don't, if you're not sure, feel free to ask us and say, hey, is this a good idea for me? And we'll give you our opinion as far as what we think is most marketable for you if you have any question or if that's something you'd like to add. And we do have a 38-inch hip restriction for swimsuit. And male models can wear board type shorts or square cut suits, but no Speedo type suits are allowed for the swimsuit runway. All right, and then children and men can walk barefoot. For the women, again, I suggest the heels if you're 13 or older, but men, if you want to walk barefoot for this category, that's fine. The runway walking pattern that I mentioned is right here. I'll send you some videos, of course, so you can see that visually as far as what to be practicing at home. But here are your directions if you want to look over that. Let's see. And then the photography review. This is an opportunity for the agents and scouts to evaluate your marketability based on how photogenic you are. And so this is a category that every single contestant participates in. So you're going to be required to turn in 15 printed hard copies of a photo. This can be a headshot. It can be more of photos side by side, but this is actually going to go into a binder for each agent, scout, manager. So they are referencing this during the weekend, and they can make notes, and then if they see you on stage, or they see you in the hallway, or they see you during the TV commercials, they've got actual copies of your photos and your information, so that it's just a good reference for them. And then it means that they're also going back to their offices with all of your information. So it does guarantee that it's in their hands with your personal contact information. For the photo category, for the photo review, we suggest that you have professional photos. If you have some photos and you're not sure if they would be right for the event, feel free to send me an email and say, hey, I've got these couple photos. Do you think these are good? Do these work? Or can you help me pick from, these few photos? We are not going to go through 500 photos and narrow it down. But if you want to send us, a very small batch of photos and say, hey, these are the ones I'm looking at, can you help me select? We would be happy to do that. And then we will have optional photo shoots at the actual expo in Charleston that Friday morning, the same day as the workshops. So if that's something you need help with, we certainly will have a studio photographer available. We might even shoot location. I'm not sure. It just depends on the weather too. All right, and this is the contact information and the measurements that would need to be listed with your photograph or your headshot and resume that you turn in for the Scouts binders. Alrighty, and for actors, you are required to slate, which means that you introduce yourself with your name and age, but you only include your age if you are under 18 years old. So when you walk out onto the stage for the monologue scenes, you would introduce yourself and you would say, hi, my name is Rebecca Dueger, and because I am over 18, I would not say my age. If I were 5 years old, I would say, hi, my name is Rebecca Dueger, and I'm 5 years old. So this is your introduction. You'll use this same slate introduction for your TV commercials. So when you're in the recording room with the scouts, you'll walk out in front of the camera. We'll have a mark on the floor, so you'll stand on your mark, and you will state your name, and then if you're under 18, you will state your age. And then one of the pieces of advice that I give professional talent is after you do your commercial or your monologue, if you would like to say scene, that lets everyone know that you have completed your scene. Or if you go to an actual audition, I always suggest that after your scene, you say thank you, and that lets them know you appreciate the audition and their time and that you've completed your audition. So for the monologue scenes, there will be microphones. For the smaller meeting room TV commercial auditions, there will not be microphones. That's going to be a more intimate experience like you would see at a typical TV audition. And props cannot be used during the acting competitions. We have kind of a new philosophy with the props. If you're doing a monologue and it's a handheld prop that you can actually walk onto the stage with and leave with, that's something that we are making an exception for. Same thing for dancers, but not any large moving props, of course. And then you want to dress for the part that you're portraying. So if you're doing a period piece, you would want to, like let's say you were doing a scene from Moulin Rouge, you would want to dress in something that looks more Moulin Rouge. If you were playing Peter Pan, you would want to wear something that looks more like Peter Pan. If you're playing an athletic coach, you would want to wear, you know, something that looks like you're out on the field and you've got your jacket on, you've got your maybe whistle on around your neck, or something that's more athletic looking. So you just want to think what attire is going to make this commercial or this monologue the most believable. And then if you have ideas and you're not sure, don't hesitate to ask us. We'd be happy to give you feedback on that. For commercials, you are standing on a mark. You are focused more on either selling a product or doing a public service announcement. And so if you were doing a public service announcement, I would say you really don't want to distract from the service that you're promoting. So sometimes the best thing to do is just to wear all black, or wear something that's very, very simple and non-distracting. If you're a child doing the Crest commercial, then you could wear your pajamas, like you're brushing your teeth. You're home, you're in the bathroom, you're brushing your teeth. If you are selling something that's all about being natural and healthy, you might want to wear something like an earth tone or pastel color, like a pretty blue if you're doing a commercial for Fiji water, anything along those lines. And while I'm on the topic of TV commercials, let me see where those commercial scripts are. Let's see. So let me move this over. I had the commercial scripts. So let's see, here we go. So these are also accessible in your contestant portal. And these are suggestions. They are options if you would like to use one of these commercial scripts, but you can also write your own script. So if there's a product you believe in, or a service or a cause that you're passionate about, or even an industry that you just know a lot about, you can certainly write your own commercial script. Your other option is to use one of these, or look in other books that have TV commercial samples, or take one of these and change it a little bit to make it your own. But these are in the contestant portal also. And as far as monologues go, I'm going to talk about that next. But there are monologue books that you can read through, and you can get them on Amazon, and they've got them at Barnes & Noble, they've got them at libraries. But you can find lots of different books of different monologue scenes that you can read through and just pick one or two that you feel really encompass your personality, show your strong suit. And the monologues can be dramatic or they can be comedic. And then I would just say, ask friends and family, do you see me, maybe do both for them. Do you see me as this character? Does this seem like the right monologue? Or do you see me as that character? And if you narrow it down to two monologues and you're just not really sure which one would be the best, feel free to email me, and I can look through, or we can look through, myself or Kara or Corey, and kind of help you decide what would probably be most marketable for you. The monologues have a 60-second time limit. It doesn't sound like a long time, but it is when you're on the stage by yourself speaking and acting. And it's long enough for the scouts to get a good sense of your marketability, your skill level, and the types of roles you might be well suited for. Okay, let's see. And then again, monologue is a scene for one person, mono, so single. So if you are doing a monologue, you are the only actor who is speaking. So don't have a sitcom script, which would be more of you say a line, someone else says another line. So you won't have an actual reader on stage with you. You need to be the only person acting out that scene. Okay, let's see. You're going to enter stage left, hit the mark on the stage and perform facing the audience. Exit stage right. That's for your monologues. And for singers and dancers, as far as your dance choice, I'm just going to start with dancers. It's really up to you as far as where you feel you shine, as far as the type of dance that you would like to do. It could be any form of dance. And of course, if you are dancing at the expo, then you're going to be working with one of your instructors or choreographers to really find the right and so as far as the dance requirements, let's see, you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds before the fade out. So what would happen is if your music went beyond 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the sound technicians would just slowly start to fade you out. But this is the time frame that you need to work with. And again, you can wear a costume, or you can do something that's just very simple, a pink leotard, a black leotard. You know, it's really up to you. Whatever you feel is the best representation of your skill and of that particular piece that you're performing. So singers will be given a handheld mic, and you are given up to 2 minutes to perform. Your track needs to be sent over to us prior to the event, and we typically ask that you send that over to us about 2 weeks in advance so that we can have our team make sure that it's formatted correctly so that it's ready for professional presentation at the actual expo. This does need to be a karaoke version, which means that your voice will be the only voice that we hear at the showcase. So you can't have lead vocals that you're singing over. You actually need to look for a karaoke version, and you can look online and they're pretty easy to find. And handheld props are allowed for this showcase. If you want to perform with an actual instrument, you just need to check with us prior to. We don't have a piano there, I don't think. But you know, any questions you have as far as instruments go, just reach out to me. And then you do have the 2 minute time limit, so they will begin to fade the track at about 2 minutes. And it's not going to be, you know, a hard, they're going to slowly fade it out. They're going to find a place that they feel they can fade it, and it's going to be not an obvious, you know, transition. All right, so this is the email where you submit your tracks. So this is for all performers. So this is for singers and dancers. 2 weeks prior to, bring a hard copy so that you have that as well at the actual event. And no adult language, please, in any of the acting scenes and in any of the musical pieces for vocal performances or for dancing. All right, so those are the preparation guidelines for the different competitions. And let's see, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is, this is another one of the guides that is within your contestant portal. It's the photo selection guide, and it just gives you some tips about photos and how to get a good headshot or how to start working on a portfolio. Let's see here. So I'm trying to think of any other major topics as far as the competition guidelines. We are going to do these online coaching sessions every month. And then the plan is to actually be able to have it as an interactive session. So if you want to hop on for one of the specific acting sessions and you want to do your TV commercial for us, that would be great. Of course, if we're going to be practicing anything like TV commercials, you want to make sure that you have your commercial determined before that training session and that you do have it memorized. And it's just going to kind of depend on how many people would like to do that. But I am going to be sending you an email with some Runway training videos, and then also there's another video that we have that shows one of our acting coaches teaching kind of the TV commercial audition techniques. So we'll be emailing you guys that as well. And everyone should be receiving our contestant newsletters now, and those are coming from my email address, Rebecca@Discovery Spotlight, but you'll start getting some regular emails. You should have already received at least one, if not two emails. The first one saying, you know, welcome to the roster, and we'll continue sending those to you with updates and information so that you guys are ready for the showcases. And let me see, I'm trying to see how I can move this. I need to get back to the other stuff. Okay. Go to, okay. We'll take you guys to the website. Okay, so again, just to kind of go over weekend breakdown for everybody. The workshops are going to be on Friday. We're going to have a check-in prior to that, a check-in after that, and then the showcases are going to start Friday evening. The very first and only showcase that day will be the TV commercials, and then all of the other showcases, and by showcases I mean that contestants are performing and scouts are observing. So the rest of the showcases will be on Saturday, and your photos will be turned in at the check-in period, and those go into the Scouts binders. And then we have an award ceremony on Saturday evening. We have the VIP after party with the kind of mingling with contestants and VIPs and Scouts. And we have callback interviews on Sunday. Those are at the host hotel, and those callback numbers will be posted on Saturday evening or Sunday morning, and they are posted not by name but by contestant number. So that's kind of the weekend in a nutshell. And so I wanted to show you guys the venue also. We're really, really excited. We've got a great venue this year, and you guys who haven't been to Charleston are absolutely going to love it. And this is downtown Charleston. It's very historic. And you can walk out from the music hall and you'll see tons of restaurants and shops, and you know, just really it's a really friendly walking space. And this is the Charleston Music Hall, and it's also downtown, of course, on John Street. It's a gorgeous venue, incredible sound quality, phenomenal stage, excellent technicians. Our after party is actually going to be up here, and we have all the exposed brick walls in there. It's just a really, really neat place. And as far as dressing in between showcases, there's always time for you to change if you are in showcases back to back. The way that we run the showcases is we do it by age groups. So let's say that you are 5 years old and you do your first showcase and you're one of the first people to do it. After you, there will be all of the older contestant groups. And then there's still going to be a little pause between that showcase and the next showcase, but it gives you time to change. You know, it's not like you're going to be kind of throwing your clothes off and getting the next outfit or costume on. You will have time to change in between, and we will have designated dressing room areas that are set up at the music hall, and there will be restrooms upstairs as well. So that's, you know, everything's going to be there in one place. This is the host hotel, Homewood Suites by Hilton. So if you would like to stay at that hotel, the events will take place there on Friday and Sunday. A lot of contestants like to room together, And Homewood Suites is actually, it's a really nice hotel, and all of the rooms are suites. So if you would like to stay there, let's see where we are, not Nashville. Then you can, you know, fit a family or several people in there very comfortably. This is where our events will be happening on Friday and Sunday. There is a pool that will be open in September. All of the rates include a breakfast, and they are all suites. So that's, you know, nice space. And that's where we host our agents and staff and scouts and VIPs. Perfect. All right. Well, what I'm going to do now is just, I can take some questions as people have them, and let me stop the screen share. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about what I went over so far? No.
No, I don't.
Okay. You're my number one today. You're my number one. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I've got any other questions over here on the group chat. Anybody want to type a message or anything? And of course, we are, I think that a lot of you guys I can see are from the Atlanta audition. And so, of course, we will be in Atlanta on June the 12th, and we're going to do, I think the time in the email was 3 to 4:30 or something like that, that we're going to do a hands-on coaching session. So for those of you guys that can come to that, it's at the same hotel, it's at that same Sheraton, and we'll basically practice walking, we'll practice commercial reads, we'll talk a little bit more about interview techniques, and just kind of start walking you through the process so that you feel comfortable with it. And then, of course, we'll continue the training every month. And then if y'all have any questions at all, you can always email us. And we're good about getting back to you as fast as we can, and just make sure that you have the information that you need. But we're so excited about you guys, and the scouts are just really excited. We're going to have a phenomenal roster of scouts this year. It's going to be an amazing show. We're so proud of you guys, and we're looking forward to working with all of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. So if anybody has any questions, you guys can email me too. Someone asked, can family attend the after party, or is it invitation only? If you do have guests with you at the expo, and they are observers for the event, then they can go to the after party too. Yeah. And then let's see, anybody else? Anything else anybody can think of? Let's see. And so just, you know, your homework right now is kind of think about, especially if you're acting, the scene that you want to do, TV commercial, monologue. For our ladies, you know, if you're in the modeling categories, you want to just continue to take care of your skin, your hair. If you do have any photos, or if you're having any photos taken, you want to keep your look more consistent, because you don't want them to look at this photo and, oh, you look like one person, and then they see you and they're like, who is that person? You want them to see kind of a consistent impression, and that's going to be important for your marketability. So, so just kind of keep that in mind. And then just, you know, stay healthy, stay positive, and don't hesitate to ask us questions if you have any questions. There are no wrong questions, no bad questions. That's what we're here for. And we want to make sure that you guys look great, feel great at the event, and that you guys feel comfortable knowing that we're here to help you guys be successful. All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll be sending out the link to this session. So if you have somebody you want to share the information with that wasn't here today to join us, feel free to do that. And I will look forward to staying in touch with you guys. Y'all have a great night.